Hey there, if you are a business loan broker or a funding specialist, please watch this video till the end because I'm going to solve the most important bottleneck in your business, which is the inconsistent deal flow. So I got my iPad over here. I'm going to underline stuff while I'm talking, and this video is going to be about, as I said, the real reason you're struggling with inconsistent deal flow. So this will be a breakdown for loan brokers and funding specialists who want more inbound, pre-qualified deals instead of feast or famine months. So if your deal flow is sometimes good, sometimes bad, or it's just inconsistent, this video will solve that exact problem. But if you're saying that my deal flow is excellent, I don't need any more deals, you can close the video now. Okay, let's move on. So I'm speaking with tens of new brokers and specialists every single month. And I've noticed something. You most probably don't have a lead problem, but you have a demand engineering problem. So most loan brokers and funding specialists don't lack interest. They lack a system that creates inbound demand, which is really important, but most importantly, qualifies it. Right now, deal flow usually comes from two places, like most probably referrals, or you just go ahead and purchase some leads. I know that they might feel really different, but both create the same outcome. Your income, your commissions, your deals depends on variables you don't control. And you probably know this better than me, but when inbound demand isn't predictable, revenue isn't predictable as well. And that is basically where the stress comes from. So this problem shows up in the same way across the industry. It doesn't matter which market you're in, which niche you're in, or what type of deal sizes you take on, because it basically creates the same experience. You have some busy weeks, but then you have silence. And because of these two things, you feel an insane pressure to finally find something that'll work. This problem has two symptoms. The first symptom is referrals. And you might be thinking, like, referrals are good. Why do you think that they're a problem? But the truth is, referrals are valuable. Yes, I agree, but they are uncontrollable. You cannot control them. You don't know when they will arrive. You cannot scale them intentionally. They disappear without warning. And they basically depend on other people's activity, not yours. So you basically depend on other people to have a proper business that's just unpredictable. And as I always say, referrals are a bonus. Yes, they're a good bonus, but they're not a growth system by themselves. Symptom number two, low intent demand. Most brokers try to fill the gap with cheap or mass market leads that they purchase from some vendors or agencies. On the surface, it looks like more demand, more opportunities, more leads. Yes, but in reality, it's just much more noise with no intent. And low intent leads don't fail because they're cheap. It's not about the pricing. They fail because they're built on the wrong incentives, and they're just garbage. Sorry for saying that, but they're just garbage. Because lead vendors are paid for volume, not for funded deals. Like, they don't care about if you funded the deal or not. They just give you the leads, as many leads as possible, because they get paid for that. So you're basically buying contact details, no real buying intent. You purchase lead lists with name, phone number, emails, but you don't know who those people are, whether they have an intent or not. Even you don't know whether they have a business or not. That's why I said you're buying contact details. You're just buying name, phone number, and emails on a spreadsheet. And as I said in the previous slide, they are garbage. Most cheap leads never, ever intend to speak with you in the first place. They were just curious. They were comparing you with other brokers. They were just killing time, or they were just seeing what they qualify for. And as I said, the reality is they are not fundable people. They're just bored scrollers on Instagram or Facebook. Because I know this for a fact, these lead vendors or agencies are generating those people by running generic ads, like by saying, do you need capital? And if you ask people if they need capital, they will of course say, yes, I need capital, because you're literally asking people if they need money. Then they sell you these people as leads, but the reality is they're not fundable, and they will never, ever be fundable. You don't know their credit score, you don't know their monthly revenue, years in business, industry, how much funding they need. So you end up speaking with unfundable leads every single day for hours. Another cost is cheap leads waste your most expensive resource: your time. Time could you spend structuring real deals, energy needed for negotiations, confidence after dead-end calls, focus that should go to fundable borrowers. These are all real costs that you haven't realized yet. Like, sure, your calendar or lead list might look full, but your real deal flow is silent. And that's something we don't really want. We don't care about the spreadsheets or calendars. We just care about how many deals we're going to fund, right? As I always say, a full pipeline means nothing if the people inside it can't convert. And this is the mentality I have. 100 conversations with the wrong people is way worse than just 10 conversations with the right people. So cheap leads don't grow your business, they drain it. And this becomes the real issue. You don't control inbound demand, and you don't control who reaches your calendar, because what you have isn't a pipeline. It's just a conversation lottery. You have a lot of people, you don't know who they are, you don't know if they're fundable or not. It's just a lottery. You just cross your fingers and hope that they might be a good fit somehow. So even though these referrals and low intent leads are two different sources, they take you to the same destination: unpredictability. And I said bear with me till the end, because in this breakdown video you will see why more leads doesn't fix unpredictability, why filtering alone isn't enough, how you can make inbound demand and pre-qualification work together, and how you can get a consistent fundable deal flow. No hacks, no hype, it's just a system logic. So as I said, bear with me till the end. Here's what happens when you have a qualified inbound system in place. So this is Devin, he's from New Jersey, he's a business loan broker, and he is a really good friend of mine. He started as a client, a more formal relationship, but now we're really good friends because we really scaled his business. And this is what he said about us: bad credit, unqualified leads, that used to be my daily reality until I met Sally, which is me. So let me show you his specific results. In his first 30 days of working with us, he got 50 qualified conversations and he funded 230K deals in just 30 days. That's why we became really good friends. But I want you to imagine this becoming your reality. Imagine knowing where your next conversations will come from, and they will be already qualified, and they will actually intend to move forward with you. And believe me, this is not an impossible thing to do, because that's just what we did with Davin as well. Now let me walk you through the exact system, the system behind inbound pre-qualified deal flow. We call the system the demand engine, by the way, and it replaces randomness with a system that creates inbound demand and qualifies it before even conversations happen, so you don't waste time and energy. And if we have to compare the demand engine with common marketing methods, these are the differences. So if you are doing lead-based marketing, vendors and agencies will sell you leads with no qualification, low intent, and after that you have to chase all these leads for hours and hours each day. And if you are depending on referrals, they will be inconsistent. It's just the nature of it. They will be random and they won't be scalable because you cannot decide how many referrals you're going to get next month. But if you have the demand engine in place, you will have pre-vetted prospects with high intent who meet your criteria, and you will get a predictable flow of deals as an end result. Let me tell you the story of how I discovered and built this system, or how we built this system to be more fair. When I first started helping loan brokers, I thought the problem was simple. They just needed more leads. Straightforward, right? So I did what everyone does. I tried everything: running ads, creating content, doing outreach, cold calls. Sometimes it worked, but then it stopped. We had weeks where things looked promising and then suddenly everything would go quiet again. And I hated that feeling. Like, let me tell you this, I couldn't sleep for nights because the system wasn't producing results, and I was so depressed because that inconsistency and that uncertainty really kills you. I couldn't sleep for I don't know how many nights because I was constantly asking myself, what if nothing comes this month? And like, I don't want to think about it again, but that's just a terrible state of mind to have. And the more we worked with people in this industry, the more I realized everyone was dealing with the exact same problem. Not a lead problem, not a marketing problem, but a qualified demand problem. At one point, I was so frustrated that I almost stopped doing this entirely because I didn't want to build a business that relied on randomness. As I said, I didn't want to live through that sleepless nights again and that state of mind again. So I went in the opposite direction. Instead of doing more leads, more tactics, I tore everything apart and focused on one question. How do we engineer demand in a way that doesn't rely on luck? It's not content, it's not referrals, it's not waiting, and it's certainly not chasing leads, because that's just spending hours and hours each day and spending your whole mental energy on people who will never move forward. It was a system, as I said, something that works even when you're not working. And after months of testing, breaking, rebuilding, and obsessing over it, that's when the demand engine finally came together. And once I started installing for partners, everything changed them and for me. Because when our clients win, we win. It's a mutually beneficial partnership. And when I saw that they were winning, I was the happiest man on the planet. Because finally, predictability replaced hope and revenue became measurable. And here are the exact 3 steps of the demand engine, the system that creates inbound, pre-qualified deal flow. Step 1, creating an inbound demand. We basically attract businesses that already feel the funding pain and are actively looking for solutions, which is funding. This is way different than running ads like, do you need capital? Because everyone is going to say yes. In this first stage, we're not trying to get as many leads as possible, but we're trying to get business owners who are looking for funding. And as a second step, which is pre-qualification, we basically qualify them. We filter out the wrong people before they even reach your calendar, so you only speak with real opportunities instead of wasting hours each day. And as I wrote here, qualification protects broker time, and not only time, energy and mental health as well. And the third step is speed to routing. The inbound demand is captured instantly, and only the qualified prospects are routed to your calendar correctly with automated booking systems. So instead of buying leads from vendors and agencies and calling them for hours and hours each day to only see that they're unqualified, the system handles everything for you. So you don't have to chase leads. You don't have to be on the phone for hours each day. And here are our core values. Inbound beats chasing, as I said like a few seconds ago. Lead quality protects broker time because we don't want to waste your time and energy. And systems beat hustle because instead of your manual input, the system handles everything automatically. And predictability beats spikes because we want to have the state of mind that, okay, my deals are coming, I don't have to worry about the next deal next month. So the cost of staying where you are. If you stay where you are, your referrals will stay inconsistent. As I said, it's just the nature of it. Your revenue will stay unpredictable and you will spend your days talking to people who were never ever going to convert. And this isn't only about effort, it's about never feeling settled. But if you implement the demand engine now, you will have your system in place in just a week, and you will start seeing your first appointments by your second week. And starting from the first month, you will start to have deals, as I showed in Davin's example. In just 30 days, he just closed 230K deals. And starting from month 2, your all deal flow is going to be predictable. So if this breakdown felt familiar and you want to understand where your deal flow is actually breaking, there is a short clarity form linked in the description below. And if you go ahead and fill that form, it will help you clarify where your inbound demand is coming from, where the quality breaks down, and what's keeping your pipeline unpredictable. And once you submit it, we'll take a look at your form and reach out if it makes sense to have a conversation. If you are in a position that you're not qualified to work with us, we'll send you some free resources so you can implement the system by yourself. Or if you're actually qualified to work with us, we will help you to build everything from scratch. And by finally having this system in place, you will have all the information about your prospects like credit score, monthly revenue, years in business, industry, and their funding need. And you will only speak with qualified people and basically start closing deals without all the hassle. Thank you for watching this video. You can drop a comment if you have any questions. I'll see you soon.